Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are live on our Facebook live stream. I'm Emmy Grimes, and we have an amazing guest, Leo Syzmborski, the CEO, founder of pH Prescriptions. He's a wonderful man, and I'm so excited to share more wisdom with you. We're going to be talking about alkaline water, importance of energized water, and the different filters that are offered through pH Prescriptions. So, Leo, you ready to take this away?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here. I'm really excited to talk about this. Let's jump in and start off with what's the reason that you developed pH Prescription, and give us a little bit more from your background. I'm pretty sure you started off out of the womb with like a wrench and with a plumber hat on or something.
Yeah, I've been doing water treatment and purification for over 30 plus years now. I working with my father and following the steps of my grandfather, and I'm a third generation plumber by trade. I was out of South New Jersey. People think of New Jersey, they think of the city and all that, but I lived in farmland. I lived down close to Delaware. But living in that area, we were surrounded by chemical plants like DuPont, Monsanto. We had, a nuclear power plant, which was the best place to work because it was the cleanest. It wasn't full of chemicals. And we worked on a lot of toxic wells. That's where we got our feet really wet in this business because of all the chemical dumping. Even when gas tanks underground leak into the ground, they cause toxicity to the aquifers in the ground. And some of the wells would have over 20, 30 different VOCs or volatile organic compound toxins in the water, and over 100 times over the allowable limit. So the state was picking up companies like our company to clean up this mess. And so we went in and we bidded on some of the projects, and we got a lot of them. We did a few thousand homes. We cleaned up some really bad stuff, and the health department would have to come in every quarter and test the water. And if it failed, it was on our shoulders because it was our situation to maintain it. And we did a really good job. So not only that made me really understanding of how to deal with really harsh toxins in the water, because most of our competitors that do similar things that we do, they only focus on the basics. Like when you look at a Brita water pitcher or other things that are available today, they have very simple filtration medias in them, like just regular carbon, and you have refrigerator filters are really big now because everybody's refrigerator has a cold water dispenser and ice maker. And again, they're really, really basic. So what we did in our startup career and why we're doing what we did is we wanted to make sure that we could filter out all the nasty things. It wasn't until I had a life-threatening condition 13, 14 years ago. I had AFib tachycardia, and I was constantly going through my heart fluttering and racing, and I couldn't understand why. And the doctors wanted to put me on Xanax and all kinds of tranquilizers to slow me down, thinking I was just nervous. Until one day that I had an AFib tachycardia that reached over 260, 280 beats per minute, and I flatlined in the hospital. And they got me back. Thank God for doctors, but they did get me back. But the first thing they did, they put me on all kinds of medication. And being on all these really bad medications, I was on 6 heart meds that were really, really taxing. In my PowerPoint presentation, I have a picture of me carrying this giant pill bottle on my back because that's what it felt like. And the only reason I took my medicine every day was because my condition reminded me. And it wasn't until shortly after I had this tragic event that I look back on now. It was meant to be, because it made me go out and open my mind. I had to take this third generation plumber from New Jersey, and I had to clear my mind, and I had to start fresh and try to figure out a way to make myself better. And get off these meds because they were horrible. And I didn't know there was like-minded people. When I met Dr. Tennant, he was one of the first people in this industry that I met that really got me, that understood me, and I was like, wow. And he introduced me to so many more. So I developed pH Prescription because of my own medical issues, because I desperately needed it. So when I developed pH Prescription, I realized that things like molecular hydrogen would add electrons to water, and this water could be an electron donor. And I was typing in the words healing and voltage and all that kind of stuff. And guess who I find? I find Dr. Jerry Tennant. Healing is voltage. So reached out to him. He came to Florida to see me. He liked what we were doing. pH Prescription didn't even exist yet. There was no name for it. We had our company back then was No Brainer LLC. We figured everything we did was a no brainer, you know. So so we were doing fun things, and PH Prescription just happened to be a doing business as No Brainer LLC, as you know, DBA, and it turned into something that just kind of took over. You know, took over our world. I was feeling better. I was sharing this technology with everybody I know, helping them feel better. And that's what really happened. And thank you, Dr. Tennant, for listening and paying attention and understanding and recognizing what we did. I feel that my whole life I've been training to do this exact job. And this exact job was to make not only clean water, but make healthy water. And there's a difference between the two, but you need both to be right, you know.
I love that. That's such an amazing story, and very similar to, Dr. Tennant's own journey. It just paved the way of healing you and forced you to, find new ways. And I love that. So thank you for your determination and being here today to share this wonderful wisdom and that great story. I did want to ask, the next question: why would, I or anyone out there buy pH systems over other water systems?
I'm glad you asked that. That's a good question. Our units are custom built to our clients' needs. It's not a one size fits all, and a lot of products today are. You buy something. I've worked on, I won't say any names, but some of the top names in our industry, and I've done their homes, and they carry their own water products. And I went in there, and I was just like, oh my God, the water is. I'm working with something, adding something new, and I'm like, your water quality is awful. What? Oh, just fix it. Just fix it. Everybody says Leo proof it, make it right. So I go in and I fix it, and I take out what was failing them, and it just, our systems are designed to remove more things. I mean, we focus from dealing with all those toxic wells. We know how to go after the hard to get out things. Like 90% of all water filtration products won't remove chloramine, and chloramine is a chlorine byproduct, just like chlorine. And it's a disinfectant. So we focused on, okay, well, this one media removes it, but here's the problem with this media. It's so dirty when you get it, it messes up everything. You have to pre-rinse it and clean it before you put it in. Nobody wants to do the extra work because the other media comes already clean. And it removes chloramine with ease once you got it, but it costs 4 times as much as the other medias. So we said, okay, listen, we're going to do it right. If you want it done right, that's you're calling the right company, and we'll get it done right. When we go after things like heavy metals and fluorides and things that are really hard to get out.
That's great. That's good to hear. So what contaminants does your systems remove, and will it remove fluoride? I think that's a big question we get often.
And that was the first question Dr. Tennant asked me. And I have a fluoride meter here that does a spectroanalysis, and it runs a frequency through the water to detect the spike of fluoride. And I showed him that I could remove it. And he says, oh my God, really? Because most of them say they can, but when you read the fine print, even to be NSF certified or water quality gold seal certified, you only have to remove 51% of the toxin. You have to be halfway there plus. That's it. So at 51%, you can get a certification that you reduce this toxin. And we're removing like 97% in their whole house, and we're removing 99%, 99.99 in the drinking system. So fluoride is a sticky one because fluoride is an aluminum waste product. Now, if you look on your water bill or from your municipality, it has all the different things that could be in the water that they test for, and fluoride's one of them. And it'll tell you how many parts per million or parts per billion of fluoride are in your water. And then it also says for strong, healthy teeth right after that. And then it says fertilizer and aluminum waste products. So it's like, okay, no, not me. And if you really, I wish I had a tube and toothpaste in front of me here to show you, but on the back of a tube of toothpaste that has fluoride in it, it says not for the use of kids under the age of 6, and if swallowed while brushing teeth or ingested, contact poison control immediately. And it's like the disclaimer on a pack of cigarettes. Surgeon General say this could cause cancer. Well, fluoride is toxic, and it wasn't until I knew fluoride was bad. But it wasn't until I met some really good dentists that work with our group too, like Dr. Evans and Will and all those guys. And when they really explained to me about how bad fluoride is and how toxic it is, and it really has hardly any beneficial properties at all, we said, oh, we got to get that out. And then I always do one thing that most companies don't do. I talk about molecular weights. What's the molecular weight of this toxin? And what does that mean? And they're anything under a mole weight of 150 mole will pass through your skin into your bloodstream. So the molecular weight of chlorine is 35.4. The molecular weight of fluoride is anywhere between 19 and 40, depending on what source it is. And all these other volatile organic compounds fall in 40 and below. So they're all making their way to your bloodstream. And that was a big no-no. We have to get that out because we know that taking a 10-minute shower, hot showers open up your pores, your body sucks in these volatile organic compounds, is equivalent to drinking 8 glasses of tap water chemically. You're not taking in 8 glasses of water, but you're absorbing the chemicals that would be in 8 glasses of water. Mm-hmm. So most people think if they buy bottled water, they have their bases covered, right? They're drinking good water. Well, there's problems with bottled water too. But no, it's not. It's wrong because the transdermally, they have to make sure that they're bathing in a good quality of water and drinking a good quality of water too.
100%. Good to hear. So what is the difference? Brings us to our next question. What is the difference between clean water and healthy water? And can I get voltage from the water?
Good question. Clean water is what we were doing up north when I first got started. It was getting the bad guys out, right? But the problem when you over clean water, and now we were trained in the Water Quality Association and the NSF that the cleaner the better, right? So right. me being the person I am, if you know my A-type personality, I can make it pure. Not only clean, but pure. And it would be way too expensive. People wouldn't be able to put this type of equipment in their home. But I was doing kidney dialysis machines for major hospitals. And when their machines got at a certain age, we'd have to replace them with new equipment. It was their protocol. So I would take the old equipment out and rebuild it, and I put it in my whole house. So I have my whole house running off a machine that ultra purifies the water into the mega ohm quality. I mean, way more pure than distilled. It would make distilled look dirty. And I was drinking this water. And one of the reasons I had AFib tachycardia is because I demineralized myself to the point that I wasn't having a good voltage anymore. I had no magnesium, nothing left in the body. And thank God for my kids and my wife that they would drinking juices and other things. I was just, I was drinking 1.5 gallons of my water a day, and it caused me to have problems. And there's an old Indian proverb saying that says, water which is too pure has no fish because it's dead. And water needs energy and voltage, like you were just talking about. Yeah. So for our drinking water, the first thing that we figured out was that we could work with these different minerals like magnesium and tourmaline and things that water would pass through. And we didn't understand that it was gassing off and making hydrogen at first. We knew that it was putting off ORP, oxidation reduction potential, and I could measure that with a meter very easily. And so, but hydrogen is the cause of it. And hydrogen acts as an antioxidant by neutralizing free radicals by donating an electron. So that donating all those electrons is amazing. And 1 glass of this water would be equivalent to like juicing like 10 to 40 pounds of vegetables in antioxidants. And it depending on where they're sourcing. That's why I go from 10 to 40. Some of the brick value on vegetables aren't so good in certain areas. So those antioxidants are amazing. And when you pour a glass of this water, you can see the little bubbles in it. And if you can't, put a magnifying glass on it, you'll see it. And they're dissolved into the water. And then when the water is poured into a glass and it's not under pressure anymore, it's under the atmosphere of the room, it starts slowly gassing out. So this energetic water that gives you voltage only lasts once it comes into the air temperature or room temperature. It's only going to last at max about 24 hours. And then hydrogen's going to gas off and be gone. The water's still clean. It still has minerals in it, but the electrons will leave.
Wow, that's crazy. That's good to hear. So what would I need in a drinking system? And if I have a whole home filter, is it something different? Or why would I need actually? Forgive me.
Good question. Whole home systems are point of entry. So coming into your house, you have a water main coming in, and that's where your whole home system would go after that water main. And then everything in the house would be filtered, right? So you would have your kitchen filtered, your bathrooms filtered, your showers filtered, even your washing machine's going to be filtered, the water going to the washing machine, even washing your sink. It's a shame that the toilets have to be filtered too, but they're just part of the process. Yeah. New builders are building homes where they're bypassing all the toilets pre-filtration. So they're not wasting the water. So the chlorine stays in the toilet, and it kind of helps keep the toilet clean, right? So you're not coming in contact with that water. But the reason for whole home filtration is that, like I said, that you're not taking these toxins in through the skin. You're not washing your hands with these toxins. You're not washing your fruits and vegetables with these toxins. So with the whole home system, we're not making voltage. We're just giving you clean water, and we're generally not removing the minerals unless you want us to. And we can soften the water and take the hardness out. In some areas, it's needed because the water is extremely hard. And we have softeners that you can blend. You don't have to go to 0 grains. You can run it like 2 or 3 grains hard. So it's not too soft and you don't feel slimy. But we took out the 50 grains hard that it was. We took it down to 2, which is a big difference. The second part of that question was the drinking system. And I always tell people the ocean can be very therapeutic to swim in and very healthy, right? But you can't drink it. So there's 2 types of water. There's point of entry and point of use. So we already talked about point of entry. Now, point of use is what's anything going into your body through your mouth, cooking with, making soups, whatever, making juices, teas, whatever, anything you're mixing with the water. You want this higher quality water because our drinking system not only removes all these bad guys, and it can work on its own independently without a whole house system, but it also removes cysts, spores, viruses, bacteria, things that are really small that have DNA in them that can make their way into your body and make you sick immediately. When you get a boil water alert, because something really went wrong. And people get sick and people can even die from when there's a boil water alert because they can get Legionella, they can get, Gardium, Cryptosporidium. There's all kinds of really bad things in the water. So anything with DNA is going to be removed. Now, ultraviolet light will sterilize anything with DNA, but my drinking system, the membrane's so small that the DNA can't even pass through the pore and it goes down the drain. So with a UV light, you're still drinking the DNA. It's just sterilized. And with our system, there's no DNA in the water. We removed it.
Awesome. That's really good. And so one other question, or actually I have 2 more questions. I hear that there's a new water system called DermaShower.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us more about it? I'm really excited to share with everyone if they haven't heard about it already.
I can. We're building them right now in our warehouse. It took us 3 years of R&D to develop DermaShower. I actually have one right here. DermaShower has been one of my partners. I'm going back here so you can see it.
Yeah.
One of my business partners sat me down and said, "Can you make a shower filter better than any shower filter out there? And can it be like we do another product called Aquapellis, which is commercial version of this?" And I said, "I probably could." So we developed DermaShower, and this white part from here to here is a filter. And it's 37 cubic inches of media that removes not only chlorine, but chloramines and other volatile organic compounds. And it has KDF 55. So when you run hot water through carbon, you have the risk of bacteria buildup or even building up algae in it. So the KDF 55 has a positive and a negative charge. Nothing can live in this filter. So they call it bacterial static. It stops anything from growing in it. And all these materials are the most expensive filtering materials you could add to a filter, which most companies won't add. And then we went one step further. You got a little shower handheld here, or you can have a regular shower head on it. And this screws right onto your shower pipe in your shower, and it replaces your head. But we did something really cool. We even made a filter wrench for people here when their hands are wet. When you're ready to take a shower, you just put this filter wrench on. And most people with strong hands can unscrew it by hand, but we take and we have pods, just like K-Cup and a Keurig, right? And these pods have all the essential and trace minerals in it. And this one here is blue, so I know that this one has lavender in it. So this would be a good nighttime shower. And we have other ones. Here's another version of it. This one's yellow, and I know this one has eucalyptus in it. This would be a good morning energy shower. And you just drop it in the pod. It's that easy. And you just take it and you put it right into here, and you just screw it in, and you'll hear it snap. It pops because it pops both sides of it. And then then it's available. And when you get into the shower, you're taking your shower with this in the off position. And then as soon as you want the nutrients, for me, when I'm done, you turn it on and the nutrients mix and you smell the aroma immediately. You can smell like that one there is eucalyptus, and I can even smell it from when I put it in. I punctured it. I can smell it right now, and it just opens up all your pores, your sinuses. It's great. And if you don't want to get involved in adding anything to it, but you want a really good shower filter, you can get it without this part. You get it with just a cap like this cap here. You get it this way. It's less money that way. And if you ever decide you want to upgrade to a nutrient, you can get this and add it to it. And there you go. There's your shower filter that removes everything. And this is the one I've been taking this with me for this style with a shower head with it to hotels. And I switch it out when I go. So when I was out to see you guys, I had one with me. So I know that I'm taking a good clean shower. Every time I travel, when I was a kid, I had eczema. And when I was a teenager, we had home filtration for the first time, and my eczema went away, and I never put two and two together. I thought I outgrew it, right? And it was the water that was tearing me up because we moved from a well to city when I was like 10, and that's when I developed eczema all over my legs, and my mom had to pour this black stuff in the water, and it was nasty looking, but it helped. And it was the chlorine that was attacking my body and the other chemical, VOCs in the water. And then when we put the filtration on in my teenage years, it went away. And I didn't know anything about health and wellness back then, so I never put two and two together. I was just happy that everybody said I outgrew it. So, but this year, if I don't use filtered water, especially when I'm traveling, and I'll be in Texas for days or a week at a time, I'll be in California, Arizona, New York, by the time I get home, I will have eczema on my legs again. Because the chlorine kills the good bacteria that helps keep your skin healthy. And by getting rid of that and stopping that from happening, I don't get it. And everybody thinks that softeners are the answer, and they're really not, because softeners are only removing minerals. They're not removing things that can harm you, that are carcinogens or things like that nature. Yeah.
That is huge. That's huge. I think about my little boy going to the swimming pool, and he gets eczema too right after that happens. And now I get it. Oh my gosh, this is huge. I love this. This is amazing. Well, guys, if you are interested in these products, Senergy is selling them and can take your orders today. And I love it. I love the concept. I think this is amazing. Leo, I know we've spent a lot of time today talking. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience members out there, just to let them know about good, clean, healthy water?
Yeah, the best thing I can say is that if you have questions, I'd be happy. You guys can make an arrangement for us to have a conversation. I'll be happy to talk with anyone. And if you have a well, it's different than municipal water. Most of the stuff you see on our website, it's geared towards municipal water because we know what we're dealing with up front. Wells can be tricky. There's a company that I recommend. I have no affiliation with them, but they've been very easy to use, called watercheck.com. And if you have well water, you can email them. I mean, you can Google them, go on their website, order a testing kit for your house. They'll ship it right to you. You just follow the simple instructions. You just fill all the vials with water. You put it back together. You put a freezer pack in for the night, and you ship it back the next day. And you're good to go. And it goes right back to them, and they give you all your results. There's a standard, a basic, and a deluxe kit, depending on what you want to do. Just read it. It goes all the way down to uranium and radon, and they test for things like pesticides, herbicides, whatever you want. And you'll see how much of all these things you could have in your tap. And it's great because now that I have that base to work off of, I can design you a custom built system. It'll be in my information. And if you have any hot spots when you get that test done, I recommend getting it done again in like 6 months, a year, at least once a year. It's very inexpensive just to get one test done. It could cost like $20. And keep an eye on that toxin, whether it's arsenic or any of those really nasty things, lead, like look at Flint, Michigan, right? So we can focus on that, and we can make sure that we handle that problem. A lot of people in the past have by mistake ordered our home system for their well, and it's not designed for that. So our drinking system, the pH RO 1100, which is our number one doctor recommended unit, is good for both. So the drinking system, the 1100, is good for both. Any other systems, please let me know. But all I can say is that if you can protect your body and put what you put into your mouth, you drink, you eat, you cook with, if you can put into your mouth things that's electron donor and clean, and you can put on your body things that are clean, you have a really good shot at dealing with these things that happen. Because like eczema was probably just the minute phase of what was happening to me, right? That was a short-term effect that happened right away. Long-term effects can be pretty bad. You get letters all the time from the water quality department. I just got one the other day. I normally call them up and give them a hard time, but it says in there, it says right in the letter, this week the water is really going to smell like chlorine really heavily. Well, the reason why it smells heavily like chlorine because they're not adding ammonia this week. And when you add chlorine and ammonia together, they kind of cancel each other out and smell like tap water.
Right.
So they do it. They do it to shock the line, to try to wipe things out. And they're like, hey, what's going on here? And why does my water smell so bad? And it says, well, if you have an immune compromised system, you should contact a professional. Well, who are you going to contact? Are you going to contact your water treatment department? Because they don't have no idea. And most water companies aren't going to know how to deal with a lot of the things that are going on. And on top of that, most of your medical doctors aren't going to know what to do for you either. So you have to be lucky enough to fall into this realm that you are with Synergy Medical Group, because I was lucky enough almost 9 years ago to have Jerry Tennant look at what I did, understand what I did, be proud of what I did, and I felt, okay, I have something. I have something. So yeah, if you can get these toxins out, you can do great things. You can do great things.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Leo. We have one question that I want to ask that came from our audience. Thoughts on Berkeley filters?
Berkeley filters have a place, and I like that they're easy. You put them on the counter, you pour water in them. They have ceramic candles in them that have carbon in the inside of it. Now, when the water passes through the Berkey filter, the ceramic will, for a period of time, remove things with DNA in it, and then it goes through carbon and it'll remove chlorine. And then they also have some minerals in the bottom of it that will help remineralize the water. It won't add hydrogen to the water because it can't, because it's not pressurized. So the theory of Henry's law is that if under atmospheres of pressure, we can dissolve more gas. So our drinking system, the 1100, is the best at making hydrogen because it's doing it under like 50 psi. So once you make that gases off, the gas is pushed and dissolved into the water itself, and not until it's put into a glass or a pitcher that the hydrogen can come back out of suspension and start gassing off. But it will last for about 24 hours before it's completely gone. So Berkey is if it's what you got, you're in the right direction. You're cleaning up your water. You are adding some things back to the water. But if you want to go the full mile and remove pharmaceuticals and all these different things from the water, and always have water just right on tap, the PHR 1100 is very efficient, and it works very well. You only have to service it once a year. If you have the whole house system, you only have to service it once every 2 years. So it's because it protects it.
Wow, good information. Thank you for answering that question. Well, guys, thank you for being here today. We talked a lot about different things, so I appreciate you watching this stream with us. And Leo, thank you so much